All right, what's going on, you guys? Once again, I apologize for my voice. I've been recovering from the flu. If you've seen in the past few videos I've done this week, the good news is I had more time to do videos because I've been home. All right, trying to get over this flu. But we're only a couple of days now away from the David Lemieux fight with Billy Joe Saunders. And this is a video that I wasn't going to do because I really wasn't sure where I was going with this one. Um, I want David Lemieux to win the fight, though. He's just, I like to watch him fight. Very entertaining to watch, very powerful. Doesn't really back down from anyone. I mean, this is the same dude that beat Endom and fought Gennady Golovkin to defend his title the very next fight. All right. And from what I've been hearing in the interviews that he's been doing, he doesn't seem to really, whenever they ask him about Golovkin in a rematch, he doesn't really seem to be avoiding Golovkin. He seems like he would fight him again if he had to. Obviously he wants the Canelo fight. That would probably be the easier fight to make because they're both Golden Boy fighters, and Canelo does bring a lot of money, and a lot of people will pay attention to that fight. Plus, he would probably have a better shot at beating Canelo, from a stylistic standpoint, than he did against Golovkin. Okay, but you can make that argument that depending on whatever. I don't know. I personally believe he had a better shot beating Canelo than beating Golovkin in a rematch. But this fight here, I'm having a hard time because it seems like I think Saunders is a little better than the guys that Lemieux have been beating, and we've seen Lemieux lose before. He lost back in the day against Rubio and then Alcine. But he had a nice streak after that fight, after those losses, and then I didn't really start paying attention to him again, not until he fought Fernando Guerrero a few years back, and then he started, collected some good wins. He beat Gabe Rosado, he beat Endom. He lost in Triple G, but it's not a big deal. It was still a decent effort. I mean, he did get dominated, but he went a good. I don't remember how far that fight went. Maybe 9 rounds, but for him to go that long without pretty much not winning a round and just taking jabs to the face, he showed that he's at least somewhat durable. He took a lot of shots, and it's not like Triple G flat out knocked him out. And since then, he's come back and he's been on a tear. He's been very active. He stopped Curtis Stevens recently, and I'm impressed. It's just that I rate Billy Joe Saunders a little higher than the guys he's recently beat. And is this going to be another fight where Lemieux steps up against a guy and he disappoints? Saunders is obviously the better, technically sound boxer, okay, but Saunders hasn't looked overly impressive neither, even with all of the wins that he hasn't had any losses, but he hasn't looked overly impressive neither, ever since he beat Andy Lee or Eubank, you see in that fight, the Eubank fight, he slowed down towards the end of the fight. He had the Lee fight where he had 2 knockdowns early, and Andy Lee came back towards the end of that fight. There was another fighter, I forgot his name, but it was another fighter in between that time that he looked terrible. He took a break for a while and he came back and fought another fighter, and he looked terrible in this fight. He looked overweight. I'll give him a pass because he didn't really look like he was in shape. But there was another fighter that he didn't look impressive against. And then we had a recent fight with Willie Monroe Jr., which, he won clearly, but Willie Monroe was probably the easiest fight he's had since Eubank. since before Eubank. You know, Willie Monroe just didn't show up. So Lemieux, I rate Lemieux higher than Eubank Jr. when they fought. Okay, um, I I think Lemieux is bringing something. I know Lemieux is not great defensively and stuff like that. I know he's a pretty much come forward fighter. You know, doesn't fight well on a back foot. He doesn't have the greatest defense. Okay, but he's very powerful. He's very, he's fast. He throws good combinations. Very aggressive, and he has good stamina, and he might be able to overwhelm Billy Joe Saunders. Saunders really haven't fought anyone to prepare himself for a guy like Lemieux. And even though, Saunders is a better technician than Lemieux, I don't think he's nearly as good as Golovkin, So even though Lemieux lost to Golovkin recently, it's like, yeah, but I rate Golovkin so much higher than Saunders. I don't think Saunders have any shot at beating Golovkin. I don't even think Saunders can beat Canelo. So with all that being said, I think it's a hard pick. You can even argue that this is a 50-50 fight. But I'm going to go with Lemieux on this one. I'm going to go with Lemieux. I'm obviously rooting for him to win, but I actually think he can beat Saunders. I think I'm going to go with that pick. Saunders slows down, and I think Lemieux might have some trouble early on in the fight. But I expect him to take over maybe after the 4th or 5th round, okay? I'm expecting Saunders to slow down. I mean, he may be in great. I'm sure he's prepared extremely well for this fight. I would hope he did, because this is a huge fight, a huge challenge for him. But I expect Lemieux. He's fought some good boxers over the years. I was very, very impressed with Indom. I rate Saunders over Indom, but not by much, I think Saunders is physically tougher than Indom. But I think as far as skill set is concerned, I don't rate them too far apart, and Lemieux destroyed Indom, So I'm gonna go with Lemieux. He's experienced. He's fought a good amount of good boxers that move well in the ring, and he's pretty good at cutting off the ring. And I think he's gonna pull this one off. All right, I would hope he does. Plus, they're fighting in his backyard. You're fighting in Canada, I believe. So I got Lemieux winning this one. All right, so not gonna go too long. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm gonna do 2 more videos. I'm gonna do a video on the light heavyweight division. I'm gonna speak on Anthony Yard, and I'm gonna do another video on the cruiserweight division. I'm trying to knock both of those out today, like right now. All right. So make sure you guys subscribe. Again, sorry for the voice, but at least you're getting the content. All right. Peace.